DILG Secretary Roxas is fully committed in protecting the security and safety of our people, a commitment that will be delivered by the Philippine National Police and the support of our people in fighting crime. Overall, how is the campaign of the Philippine National Police in the crusade to stop criminality even before it happens? Today, Secretary Roxas met with the PNP chief to discuss added measures to contain crimes from spreading. Good evening, sir, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.
Sir, just to start us off, what is the overall picture of criminality all over the country, most especially in Metro Manila?
Well, nationwide, criminality has gone down in all the regions except in Metro Manila. The NCR region has experienced greater criminality than in the past, whereas all the other regions are experiencing lesser criminality than in the past. This is a phenomenon that we are tracking very closely. We are monitoring this quite diligently and making sure that the proper manpower, the proper resources, communication, logistics, etc. are in place so that we can competently and adequately respond to this challenge.
Yes. A specific case is a jewelry heist in the mall over the weekend. What is your marching orders to the PNP during your executive meeting this morning?
Well, it was not so much a time for orders. It was a time to listen, to find out what their needs were and what they thought the real situation on the ground was. The heads of the various units were present, and so they gave their assessment, and I gave them the commitment of the government's backing in terms of resources and in terms of deployment of whatever is necessary so that we can address this criminality.
So speaking of resources, is there a shortage of police personnel to cope with the threat of criminality? And how can our people help you and the PNP to ensure crime is stopped before it happens?
Well, there is a shortage. The ideal ratio of one policeman to every 500 is not where we are. In fact, in certain areas here in Metro Manila, we are at 1:1,000, if not even more. So we really lack policemen. It's not very easy to hire them. They have to be trained. They have to be properly educated and inducted into the ways of the police, and to be provided as well investigative powers and competencies. Nonetheless, our people can help by anything suspicious, reporting anything that is in their neighborhood or in their community. There's an interesting fact that in the 117, this is the emergency hotline, more than 50% of the calls that come into 117 are prank calls. So, the police have to respond to all of this. Sometimes legitimate calls cannot come in. So this is one way that our citizens, our communities can help.
So the gun ban and checkpoints that are set up every night, are they effective in arresting those who have bad intentions? And how many arrests so far have there been for during this gun ban?
Well, the checkpoints are effective for one level of risk and of threat. Hundreds of firearms have been nearly several hundred firearms have been confiscated by all of these checkpoints. No? But as you can imagine, those who are planning, yung mga masasamang loob, the checkpoints. Checkpoints cannot be present in every street and in every intersection. So we choose them where most people pass. We also choose them quite strategically and tactically. But those with plans and those with evil intentions find a way to avoid them.
So now it's only a couple of weeks before the campaign of the midterm elections begin. So the attack of PNP personnel and civilians in Negros, this was claimed by the NPA, and the more they will do it during the elections, especially if candidates are being asked to pay for a permit. How do you intend to deal with this problem of insurgents terrorizing candidates and civilians in insurgency areas?
Well, we're dealing with them already. This is one incident. one incident is one incident too many. But if we were to take a look at the numbers of election-related violence, the numbers of instances such as what happened in Negros, are substantially down. They are like at 20% of where they were versus the same period last year or last election. So the numbers are down, but we are continuing our efforts to bring them to zero.
So with the continuing checkpoints in the evening, there are discussions right now with regards to having checkpoints in the morning?
That's correct, but the police presence is already available anyway. So a combination of checkpoints and police presence, heightened police presence, is what we are looking at.
So how would this be implemented? As we have seen, some civilians are actually kind of weary about this because of what happened in Atimon and Quezon.
Well, this is something that we should all be worried about. The DILG, the police, are not resting on their laurels, so we're doing all that we can. Our citizens can be assured that we will not allow this to continue, and that the investigations are serious. Now, with respect to Atimonan, the NBI itself is undertaking the investigation. So this is to ensure that there is no whitewash, that there is no cover-up, and that the truth of Atimonan and Quezon will emerge.
So going back to what happened in the mall during the jewelry heist, now during the investigation it said that the CCTV is very helpful right now in the investigation. Now with that, should all business establishments in Metro Manila install CCTVs to ensure that if criminals strike, it is recorded and it will help in the investigation and maybe actually prevent crime?
Yes, there are several instances where CCTV has been very helpful. We are studying ways of how to institutionalize this.
And sir, overall, is the Philippine National Police more motivated now and better equipped to protect our people and preserve law and order?
Well, they're better equipped, but so are the bad people. No, I mean, whatever firearms the PNP has, so do the bad people. But indeed, we have better equipment in terms of for forensics, for scene of the crime investigations, for DNA, and so on and so forth. We just need to better deploy this and to make them applicable in the investigation.
And sir, finally, a final word with regards to advice, I guess, to the public on how they can actually help in the PNP and how the PNP can also with the civilians on how to help in these kinds of things, investigation and helping reporting and also not making prank calls in the hotline 117.
Para sa ating mga kababayan, maraming salamat sa inyong suporta. Matinding problema ito na kinaharap natin lahat. Makakaasa po kayo na ang DILG, ang PNP ay hindi po magpapahinga, hindi po titigil sa aming pagsisikap na masugpo ang kriminalidad. Kami po ay dedicated po kami, committed po kami na mabawasan at masugpo itong kriminalidad nito. Meron po tayong strategic plan na hindi lamang yung mga insidente, hindi lamang yung mga specific na mga pangyayari na iniimbestigahan, pero yung tinatawag na organized criminal activity. Nang sa ganon, yung mga sindikato mismo, yung kanilang financiers, yung kanilang supplier ng mga baril at iba pang mga gamit, ang magiging kabahagi din ng aming pagsisikap. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.